was it a dream? Those enraged and devoted hearts who fought for this field, for this road, for this swamp, who snuck like foxes from tree to tree, striking out at the British and then slipping through their grasp. No, a will for liberty took root here and sprouted into a revolution, our independence secured in the low and up country, across these swamps and pastures, forests and hills. The shot, heard round the world, rang out in the North as a rallying cry for American independence. In the Southern colonies, however, it served only to amplify the growing discord between American patriots and British loyalists. Pledge allegiance to a king sitting far across the Atlantic, taxing fruits born from Carolinian soil, or stand up to the crown with an inferior army? As stalemate gripped the war in the North, the High Command began to eye the Southern colonies, which were thought to harbor sympathy for the Crown, that the British believed could be leveraged into a loyalist army. Twice the British tried to capture the port of Charlestown, the gateway to the South, and finally they were successful in May of 1780. With the southern branch of the Continental Army in retreat, the British now had the foothold in the South to tip the balance of the war in their favor, and in time, snuff out the colonial uprising. But they underestimated the tenacity of Carolinians. Partisan militias had sprung up throughout the state. Inexperienced as they were, these men believed this land to be their own and were unshakable in their pursuit for liberty. Americans saw desperate and gruesome fighting. They were nearly destroyed at Waxhaws and Camden. But into this Carolina soil, they dug their heels, rising time and again to harass the British and finally prevailing over Loyalist and provincial forces at Musgrove's Mill and Kings Mountain. Word began to spread. A small band of patriots was defying the Crown's efforts to seize the southern colonies. Soon the Continental Army, along with the militia, achieved a cunning victory at Cowpens, setting into motion a string of events that saw the British split in two. One element surrendered at Yorktown, and the other eventually retreated to Charlestown, where they remained till war's end, bottled up by the very patriots they hoped to suppress. With over 200 battles and skirmishes fought within the state's borders, South Carolinians felt the full force of civil and global war. From 1780 to 1782 alone, more than 1,000 South Carolinians laid down their lives on America's road to liberty. But what remains of those intrepid days? Victory lies dormant, buried, and the hallowed grounds where the blood of those brave Carolinians was shed sits neglected and overgrown. The American Battlefield Trust has partnered with the South Carolina Battleground Trust to preserve these battlefields and unify them with the creation of the Liberty Trail. Sweeping across the state, the Liberty Trail is an innovative driving tour that will fully convey South Carolina's Revolutionary War story, bring tourism and economic development to local communities, and invite a larger audience to appreciate the state's contribution to American independence. The trail will feature brand new battlefield parks at Eutaw Springs, Camden, Waxhaws, Hanging Rock, and Fort Fairlawn, and make significant additions and improvements to existing parks. Each stop along the driving tour will feature unique on-site interpretations that'll connect visitors to the extraordinary events that came to pass nearly 250 years ago. The Liberty Trail will honor the patriots that decided the Revolution's outcome in the swamps, fields, woods, and mountains of South Carolina. Those Carolinians blazed the trail to liberty. And all we've got to do is cut back the brush, clear off the path, and bring to light South Carolina's pivotal story in the American Revolution. Will you stand by as these battlefields slip further into obscurity? Or will you help us preserve these hallowed grounds and blaze the Liberty Trail?